Welcome back, everyone. We are up to day 6 of our mini manifesting challenge using the tarot cards to garner some wisdom so that we can correct our paths and just dive a little bit more deeply into manifesting. I hope you are enjoying this little 7-day challenge. I hope you're learning something. Had some moments that have made a lot of sense and have maybe decided that manifesting takes a little bit more work than just affirmations and vision boards. I hope so. Now, yesterday we had a bit of a hard day because we had to tackle devil. Now, day 6 kind of softens things a little bit. And after the devil, it kind of, maybe we need it. We need a little bit of softness. But you've faced your patterns, your attachments, and the bits of yourself quietly that keep you in these patterns, keeping you stuck. And that's heavy work. And it's necessary, but it is heavy work. And today we're facing the Wheel of Fortune. And of course, this shifts perspective for us. And it is really about letting life move instead of trying to control every single outcome. Now, this is where manifestation gets a little bit of a breather again, because the devil showed you where you grip too tightly, where you try and hold on to everything, even if it's not working for you, even if it's bad for you. Now, the wheel shows you what happens when you loosen that grip, even just a little. And at its core, the wheel is about cycles, timing, and movement. So we know nothing stays the same forever. Not the good, not the bad, not the stuck, not the thriving. Life is always turning, shifting, and changing. And when you're manifesting, this matters more than people give it credit, because a lot of frustration doesn't come from things not working. It comes from expecting them to happen on your timeline. So you do the visualizing, you do the journaling, you do the mindset shifts, and then you wait, and then you start questioning whether any of it is actually doing anything at all. And that's where the wheel steps in and says, you're not stuck, you're just in a phase. And there's a difference, because being stuck really feels permanent. And it does, when you say I'm stuck, it does feel as though that's it. You cannot get out. Literally stuck. And really, a phase is temporary, even if it's uncomfortable while you're in it. And the will remind you that manifestation isn't linear. It doesn't go intention, action, result neatly and predictably, although that is usually the formula that is given out. Intention, action, result, voila, magic. But it moves in cycles. There are moments of momentum where everything seems to click and the doors open easily, and there are moments when things feel slow, unclear, even a bit chaotic. Now, it's not because you've done something wrong. It's because things are still rearranging out there in the future. And this is where people tend to sabotage themselves, because they start to panic. And when they hit a slower phase, instead of trusting it, they start to doubt. And then they start forcing things. And then they start to overthink, changing direction every 5 minutes. Or worse, they give up entirely, assuming, it's just not working. The Wheel of Fortune changes that reaction, because it asks you to zoom out and see the bigger picture. Because if you look at life honestly, you'll see this pattern everywhere. Times when things felt like they'd never change, and then of course they did. Moments when something fell apart and later made sense. And opportunities that came out of nowhere right when you stopped trying so hard. And that's the wheel in motion. It's unpredictable. But most often than not, it's not random at all. There's a rhythm to it. And when you start working with that rhythm instead of fighting it, manifestation becomes a lot less exhausting. Now let's talk for a moment how actually this might help you manifest what you want. So the Wheel of Fortune is teaching you to trust in movement. And that doesn't mean you just sit back and hope for something magically to land in your lap. You don't need to control every step for things to shift in your favour, because control often comes from fear, and fear of things going wrong, or fear of missing an opportunity, fear of not getting what you want. So you try and overmanage every single detail. But in doing that, you close yourself off to the unexpected ways things could actually work out better than you planned. So the wheel asks you to consider this. What if the path to what you want doesn't look the way you think it should? What if the delay isn't a block, it's just a redirection? What if the thing that didn't work out was actually making space for something more aligned for you? Now again, this doesn't mean you sit back and do nothing. It means you stay open while you keep moving, and you take actions that feel right, and you allow the outcome to unfold without micromanaging it. That's a very different energy. And we have a little shadow side to this card as well, and we may as well acknowledge it here. The wheel can feel unstable. So when things are changing, especially if they're changing quickly, it can trigger uncertainty. You might feel like you're losing control, like things are happening to you instead of for you. And if you've just come out of a phase where things are difficult, you might not fully trust the upswing when it starts. You might wait for something to go wrong. That's where the energy can trip you up. Because if you don't trust the good when it arrives, you will end up pulling yourself back into the old patterns. That same old story. It's for somebody else. It can't possibly happen to me. So it's about allowing change without bracing against it. It's about letting things improve without immediately questioning how long it will last. It's receiving opportunities without overanalyzing them into oblivion. And that can feel uncomfortable because certainty feels safer. Even if that certainty is something you don't actually want anymore, the world gently disrupts that. It says life is moving, whether you resist it or not. So can you either hold on tightly and feel every jolt, or you can learn to move with it. Now, in terms of practical manifestation, what does this day actually look like? It looks like noticing where things are already shifting, even if it's in small ways. So look for conversations that might open a new idea, a delay that's unexpectedly giving you more time to rethink something, or a random opportunity that seems slightly out of the blue. Instead of dismissing these as coincidence, you start recognizing them as movement. Because manifestation doesn't always arrive in one big obvious moment. It often shows up as a series of small turns of the wheel. Now, another part of this work is releasing rigid expectations. Now, that doesn't mean your desire that stays. It's about the how and the when and the exact form it takes. That flexibility allows the wheel to actually do its job. Because when you're too fixed on one specific outcome, you can overlook better ones that don't match your original plan. So don't limit yourself. Your focus shifts slightly today, and you no longer just identify what's blocking you. Now you're learning to trust movement that's already happening, even if you don't fully understand it all yet. And the more you allow yourself to move with it, the less you feel you're chasing your manifestation and the more it starts meeting you halfway down the path. How does that sound? It's an interesting take on the Wheel of Fortune and how it can assist you in looking at assisting your own manifesting practice. So we have one more day left. So I hope I see you back to conclude the whole week of our manifesting challenge. So I'll see you tomorrow.